y'all, it's Charlene from the Craftyartshack, and we're here today with a recreation inspiration challenge. And I'll tell you more about that when we get into the video, but let's get to the craft as we get started. Let's go. We got some awesome things we're doing here today. All right, here we go with DIY number one. Now, DIY number one is inspired by Christmas Reindeer Nightlight by Tommy and Sherry at Homestead at Waterfall Cottage. Now, I've done one of these before similar to that one, but this one was still inspired from that video. And what I did is I took some of the pieces of the little lantern that they have at the Dollar Tree, and I took the lantern apart. And then what I did is I took this backing that was on the lantern, on the inside of the lantern, and I glued it with some E600 down to the back of the side of the lantern. And I took that piece after I got it all glued together and took some more E600 and glued it down to my nightlight. Then I took these little sticks and I went all the way around the outside edge of this. And you guys, this turned out really, really cute. And we'll see the rest of this at the final reveal, because all I'm going to do is put these around it and add a piece of jute rope to the top and put a little bit of Epsom salts on it for a little bit of snow down at the bottom of their feet, and it is finished. Alright, y'all, today's video is a recreation inspiration challenge, and we're supposed to see one, do one, and teach one. It's hosted by 6 Kids and a Glue Gun, and guest hosted by you-know-who, Craftyartshack. You guys go check out the ladies on the playlist below, along with these 2 videos here. And there is some awesome crafting going on, and you might get some inspiration of your own for a new DIY. So go check them out. The description, or the playlist, is in the description box below. Alright, here we go with DIY number 2. Now, this one is inspired by the All About Christmas channel on YouTube. Go check them out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Christmas card and I am going to cut it down, and I'm going to cut the back side of it into 2 pieces, because I want to make a place for my I guess you would call them the hanger pieces, those little pieces right there of the wood that I'm showing you. And I wanted it to be where it's not covering up any of my picture on the front. So I'm gluing extra pieces of the card to itself on the back. I guess I'll show you in a minute. But I had already made these for a different card, and I realized I had this card and I wanted to do more of a farmhouse look. So what I did is I used 3 blocks for the bottom of this piece, and then I used 3 more blocks, and one of them I'm cutting in 2 because I want it to have that staggered look. I don't want them to be glued directly to each other. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute if I get my hands out of the way. So there's what it should look like, and we're going to make 2 of those, and you just glue your blocks together. You can use wood glue and hot glue, or I just used hot glue for this one because I knew there wasn't going to be that much weight on this. Now, after I got the blocks cut to the size I wanted, I put hot glue on the back of it. I took half of the back of my card and put it down on there, centering it on this piece. And I'll do the same for the bottom piece. One's going to be the top and one's going to be the bottom. Now, I'm going to take some of that antique Waverly wax, and I'm going to go over my Jenga blocks, and then I'm going to wipe off the excess. Alright, after I get that done, then I'm going to take and put some hot glue on this part of the card, and then I'm going to lay the front side on it and push it all the way up to the edge of my Jenga blocks. This way none of my card gets covered, and I'll do the same for the bottom of this as well. After I get done with that, I'm going to take and cut me a piece of jute cord, and I'm going to find the center, tie a knot, and then I'm going to take both these ends and glue them down onto the back of my little sign here. And then after I get done with that, I am going to take and put a little jute bow at the top and some embellishments, and I'm also going to cover the back with some of that brown craft paper. And then I'm going to finish it off with some little greenery at the top and the little jute bow, and we'll see the rest of this at the final reveal. At this time, we'd like to thank our subscribers for subscribing to our channel. We love you bunches, and here we go with DIY number 3. And this DIY is brought to us by Clay It Now. They made this little house. You're going to need some little tools like this. These came from the Dollar Tree. I got some foam like this. Next time I wouldn't use that. And I used a little birdhouse similar to this one. And we created it. Now, I lost some of the footage here, but this is basically what I'm doing is I'm covering the house with clay. Now, before you start covering your little house with clay, you need to, this is the air dry clay from Walmart made by Crayola. And before you attach that clay to that house, this is a step I didn't do because I forgot all about it, is you need to seal your little house, whether you make it out of cardboard. They made theirs out of cardboard. I chose to use one of the birdhouses from the Dollar Tree, but you'll want to seal that house with Mod Podge or glue or something, because that clay will dry out if you don't seal that, because it pulls all the moisture out and then it causes your clay to crack. So that was a mistake I learned in doing this. So you're going to take your little tools and you're just going to add little pieces and cover all your little parts up. Now, I'm going to do one of these houses a month for this next year. And that way in December or November, when I get ready to start putting them together, I can make a little village out of them and put them together. So we're going to make all of our little houses this year, and we're going to do it throughout the year. Once a month, we're going to feature this in our videos. Now, after you go all the way around, the next thing you want to do is you want to add yourself a little front door. You want to add yourself some little trees and bushes around this. Now, you guys, I made this old little house. It turned out so cute, and I realized I did not put any windows on this house. So what I'm doing is I'm making, sorry about that, you guys, that's my alarm. And I am putting a little evergreen tree right there by the porch. And I got to make sure I get it short enough. And then we're just going to add some other little embellishments. But y'all don't forget to make your little windows and put them on the house. Now, when I feature this for my videos once a month, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to show y'all or talk about what I'm doing. So if y'all have any questions, ask, and I will respond to your questions. But I'm just going to put the pieces in here. Now, you noticed I put glue down first, and then put the little tree down, and then put some little you put the glue or the Mod Podge down, and then you add your little trees. If your clay is already dry, or you are taking and putting clay on a dry clay piece or a dry wood piece, you need to seal it or add glue to make it stick. Now I'm going to start adding some little bushes to the back. And when you make your little bushes, you want to make your little lines in there and all your stuff with your clay pieces. You want to add your little embellishments before you put them on there, and then add glue and then put it on. But you don't have to have a whole lot of details. But the part I wanted to show you is like this little bush that I'm going to put right here. Watch how I do this. You just take and dab little things in it, and it makes it look like a bush. Isn't that easy? Okay, so we're going to add bushes all the way around this, and see where my house cracked right there? That is because I did not put a sealer on that little wood piece before I started. That's what I was talking about. You need to make sure that you add Mod Podge or glue or something to your wood project to seal it, so the wood doesn't draw out all of the moisture really quick, and that's what causes it to crack. Also read after doing this that if you mix glue and in with your clay, it will cause it to not crack as well. So after I get them on there, all these little bushes on there like I want them, I do put more glue over the top of them, start adding glue down to the bottom, and I'm going to show you these little bushes one more time. Watch this. You just stick your little thing in there, and it looks like little bushes sitting there. And I thought this was so cute. You guys, this little house turned out really cute. I wish I had put windows in it, though. Now, here's how I go around and use some of my little tools. See that little round edge? If you take it and push down, it causes that to, it pushes your clay into your little wood piece. Now, to make that little chimney is where I lost the footage. It is 3 corks glued together going up the side of the little house. Now, once you get all of this like you want it to look, then you need to seal it and let it dry. See, I let it dry overnight, and look at that crack I got. But this was all before I found out what I needed to do, what I should have done. So I'm trying to fix my cracks now, and I was somewhat successful in fixing these cracks, but in the next video I learned all the things in this one that I shouldn't have done. But I'm just laying glue over that to make it look like little glue drips, and I'm adding some in different places, and that's gonna act as like little snow pieces for my snow drifts, or whatever you want to call them. Anyway, it turns out looking really cute. Now, after I get all my little cracks fixed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a coat of white, or I'm going to coat it all in glue, let it dry. Then I'm going to coat it in a white base. You know, I paint everything white first before I start adding color to it. Now, from here on out, I'm going to speed up this video just a little bit so y'all can see the stuff that I do to this next. Now, here we go. We're going to start painting, and we're going to lay down like a brownish gold color, and then we're going to lay down some chocolate sprinkle for the door and go all the way around the door. And I still have the stuff on my brush from where I did the sides of the house. And I'm going to paint the roof. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to mix some brown and some red together to give me my brick look that I want. And this is just the base coat now. It's brown and red mixed together. And I'm double loading my brush like I showed y'all before. And then now I'm going to double load with black and white. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to hit some places on there. And I'm going to just keep dirtying this up and doing the same with the roof until I get the colors that I want. And you just kind of mix your colors a little here and a little there, and you come back in and you highlight places, and then you come back in with your white and you make all your little snow pieces, paint them white, and then you're going to come in with some let's see, what am I painting next? I'm going to come in with that yellowish gold from, it's called King's Gold, and it's got some white in it from where I had the white on my brush. And I'm going to go all over my little trees. Now, this is my base coat for my trees. This is not the color of my trees. And why do I paint it white, and then why do I put a base coat on? Okay, first reason why I paint it white is because I want my colors to pop. The second thing, the reason why I put the undercoating on, is because when you look at trees, they aren't all one color. If you stop and look at the leaves on a tree, they're different colors. And so this adds dimension to your project when you take and put another color on top of a color, and some of the cracks aren't filled in all the way, and it just gives it that shaded effect and different colors, and it just makes it pop when you do it. And any places that you miss, then they're not stark white. And so I'll keep going through here and shading my little trees and everything until I get them the color that I want them. And I guess at this point I could stop talking and let y'all just watch it. But I'm trying to show y'all how my thought process when painting. Now here I'm adding a little brown back in because, you know, trees got some brown in them. And then I'm thinking of all the places where you see the brown, like the trunks of the trees and different things like that. Now, after I finish painting those trees, I'm going to go back in with my white paint, and I'm going to come back and touch up all around. And there's a reason why you paint in the order that I painted these things, because that way when you get down to this point and you cover up the places where your paint bled over, then it just kind of looks like little snow drifts. And then everything is already coated at this point and ready to go. And so then I go back in because I didn't like the color of my door, and I make it a little bit darker, and I keep working on it until I get it the color that I want it. Then after I get that done, then I come in with some black paint and I make me a little X on the front of the door because I wanted it to have that effect of like a little barn door or a little wood door. And then I paint my handle, and I'm trying to decide exactly what color I want it. What I do is I go and I paint the whole thing with glue all over again. I know, it's a lot of glue. I bought a big jug of Elmer's glue from Lowe's, the big gallon size. And now after I paint everything with the glue, then I'm going to take and paint it in sections. That way I can put on some of this clear glitter, and then that will give it that extra sparkle like the little village houses usually have. Okay, now when you start doing this process of adding your glitter, start at the top and work your way down so that you're finished when you get down to the base. Now we'll see the rest of this at the final reveal. All right, today's challenge again is the Recreation Inspiration Open Challenge, hosted by 6 Kids and a Glue Gun and guest hosted by the Craftyartshack. That's us. And we want to thank y'all for joining us today, and this was a lot of fun. Check out the ladies on the playlist in the description box below because there's a lot of talented crafters out there. Here's all the other places that you can find us on social media, and here is the final reveal. Alright, y'all, we're back from the craft desk. This was so much fun. I had a lot of fun making these. Let me show you. Isn't that just adorable? You guys, I got a crack here in the front that I didn't get covered, but that's okay, because when we put the village together, you won't notice it. If y'all like this, we're going to be starting to do one each month of a different style, so that when we get to October or November of next year, we'll already have all our little houses for our village, and we'll start putting them together. And we're also going to feature accessories to go with it too. So y'all don't want to miss out on that. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe, because you don't want to miss the next episode of the Craftyartshack. We're always doing something new, always doing something fun. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Alright, y'all. Yeah. Messed it up. Yes. No, I'm not talking to you. We'll see you later.